Yeah.
I can call this regular meeting of council to order for January the 13th, 2025. I would like to acknowledge we have Councillor Valentino on Zoom, and we have regrets from Deputy Mayor Fitzpatrick and Councillor Lundmark. Next, I'd like to recognize that we're on the ancestral lands of Michiswasit Cree Nation and homeland of the Métis. We are on Treaty 5 land. Next, I'd like approval of the agenda. Anthony?
Yeah, the administration's removing, recommends removing item 6.5, so we can do some further work on behalf of council.
Thank you. May we have approval of the agenda as amended? Councillor Oberdorfer?
Need a motion to amend the agenda first.
Councillor Oberdorfer, Councillor McIver, all in favor? Thank you. And now a motion to accept the amended agenda. Councillor Oberdorfer, Councillor McIver, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, we're going to community comments, feedback.
I just have a quick question about the committee of the whole. So it used to be live streamed, it's no longer live streamed. Why is that?
The council just decided that they wanted to do their committee of the whole differently. So committee of the whole is going to be held next door. It's just the difference in the plan. There's no requirement for it to be live streamed in the bylaw. This meeting though is live streamed.
Okay, well, I understand that it's not required, but more people watch it live stream than obviously attend in person, right?
Yep, that was council's decision. They're trying something different.
So was it voted on? Like,
There's no requirement to vote on it because there's no requirement in the bylaw.
Everything gets moved forward.
okay, so then just a suggestion for like integrity and I don't know, transparency. Why would you not do it live stream or recorded?
It's up to council how they'd like to conduct their meetings.
So then it was the consensus of the council to do it that way?
The council had a discussion and decided to change how they're conducting their meeting.
Okay,
You're definitely welcome to attend in person.
yeah, it's just that's where all the RCMP reports and stuff are done, right?
On that note, I'd like to, Ron Matichuk, 20 Ash. On that note, I'd like to welcome all the people that show up on the screen to also attend in person. Wouldn't it be nice?
Yes, sir. Any more? Any comments, feedback? Seeing none? We'll move on. We're to adopt the minutes. 5.1 is regular minutes for regular meeting of council, December the 9th, 2024. Resolution 2025-001, moved by Councillor Saw, second by Councillor Chong. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held in council chambers, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Monday, December the 9th, 2024, be adopted as circulated. Administration,
Nothing further.
Councillor Saws, mover, any comments?
Nothing for it, no.
Any other comments from council? Open the question, all those in favor? Carried. Five point two is adoption of minutes for committee of the whole, January the 6th, 2025. Moved by Councillor Saw, seconded by Councillor Chong. Be it resolved that the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting of council held in council chambers, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Monday, January the 6th, 2025, be adopted as circulated. Administration,
Nothing further.
Councillor Saw,
That's no problem.
other members of council. Seeing none, call for the question, all those in favor? Carried. Next, we'll be going into resolutions. Resolution 6.1 is a resolution authorizing administration to enter into managed services agreement with Epic Information Solutions. Resolution 2025-003, moved by Councillor Oberdorfer, second by Councillor Chong. Be it resolved that the council authorize the city manager to enter into a managed services agreement with Epic Information Solutions Incorporated for a 3-year term concluding on November 1st, 2027. Administration.
Now, the city of Thompson has long used Epic for its managed IT services and security. The previous master service agreement has expired. And there's a request here to prolong it for another 3 years. Asking for council's approval tonight.
Thank you. Councillor Oberdorfer is the mover. Do you have any comment?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just have a couple questions. My first question is, how the current rate compares to the last agreement? And, was the last agreement 3 years? Because I feel like I remember this coming forward. I can't remember when.
I believe the last agreement was 2 years, and I
Okay,
believe the
that makes-
rates are the same. The only changes would be numbers of units and whatnot that we've.
Yeah, I don't have any major concerns with this. Being supportive of it, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from councillors? Councillor Saw?
And thank you, since I'm not used to this agreement, could you? I mean, I get a general idea of what they do, but could you give some more specific examples of the type of services they provide? When some things go down or there's a problem.
In terms of the security side, I probably won't discuss that publicly, but I mean, in terms of if there's something goes down critical in the function of the city, they will deploy their teams remotely as well as locally to work on getting our services back up. They'll do everything from our servers to our cloud hosting, internal security, our security externally to the internet, and then interfaces with our software, say our financial packages and whatnot. They do have other security measures that are in place. In the case of cyber attacks and whatnot, but that I would brief council confidentially.
So when it comes to some of the systems with our water plant and sewage plant, that's not different, right?
Epic manages the gateways towards those. Those plants work on their own proprietary software, but the gateway and access to those is managed through Epic Security.
Anyone else? Comments? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Point 2 is a resolution authorizing the administration to enter into the amending agreement number 5 for Reaching Home Community Entity. Councillor Saw.
Thank you, I'll just defer proceed for conflict of interest on this one.
Here. Resolution 2025-004, moved by Councillor Oberdorfer, seconded by Councillor McIver. Whereas on March 11, 2024, Council passed resolution number 2024-034, authorizing the city manager to enter into the 4-year Reaching Home funding agreement between the Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities and the City of Thompson. And whereas the parties wish to amend the agreement to modify the agreement end date and update the project components and cash flow as outlined in the original agreement. Now therefore be it resolved that council authorize city manager to enter into the amended agreement number 5 for the Reaching Home community entity between Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities and the City of Thompson. Administration.
And so this is an offer from the federal government to extend the city of Thompson's Reaching Home funding. The proposed for this current year, a $92,592 increase. Next year, a $92,592 increase. And then for the 26-27 and 27-28 fiscals, a $422,752,000 increase each year. Noting that certain years, 56,680 has to be spent on maintaining and improving the coordinated access system. This was reviewed at the last committee of the whole, and there's a recommendation to bring it forward for approval tonight.
Thank you, Councilor Obrador, first move.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I'll be supporting this. I did just have a question or clarification, I guess, about the, and administration kind of just spoke to it, where the 56,000. Is that on top of money that is already going towards coordinated access, or that would be specific to the only money for coordinated access, I guess?
That's on top of existing dollars, but it is saying that out of the money that's given, that portion has to be spent only on that. It can't be spent on other activities.
Anyone else comment? Councilor Chong?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to know, what are the organizations that are eligible for funding for this, from this bridging program?
Any organization can apply as long as they're meeting the objectives that are laid out, Canada's guidance on how it can be spent. So to either be on housing, diversion of housing, services, or diversion of homelessness, I guess you could say, services to prevent homelessness or to help people navigate. So there's a whole bunch of different areas that are in the directives that, and when we put out a call for proposals for the money, it lists what are the eligible categories. But it's really open to any organization that wants to address homelessness or housing in the city of Thompson.
Who make the approval?
The approval is done through what's called a community advisory board, so that's also a requirement to the directives. The community advisory board in Thompson is made of the Lived Experience Council, as well as members of the Lived Experience Council are people who have experienced homelessness themselves and have been trained on all the funding and grant requirements. So they evaluate the proposals, as well as technical experts throughout the community. So people who are familiar with housing or housing issues and homelessness issues, they provide technical support to the Lived Experience Council.
So far, what are organizations that qualify right now?
Organizations that would have it right now would be men are part of the solution, the YWCA, in the past, the Mamaweechuck Friendship Center. I believe MKO has applied in the past. I have the Canadian Mental Health Association. So those are some of the larger ones, but there are other times where individuals will apply or smaller groups.
Councilor Wong?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I remember we used to have, this considers a flow through funding, right? So I believe we used to get the percentage out of it. Is that the in-kind over there? Those are the percentage the city got, but we're not taking?
No, those, the administrative fee of 15%. That is what council uses to pay for the community entity coordinator. So we've hired Word Tapestries, company that's run by Andrea Hatley, and those overhead funds are used to pay for that position to run it on behalf of council.
So this amount, is that included that particular fee or is not? There's a separate.
The fees would come out of those allocations. So 15% of each one of those allocations would then go to administration.
And then
Not
we
our administration.
Direct to get.
That's correct.
Yeah, just kind of like recall, we used to get that kind of money, but we usually just give it out to run the program. Right?
That's correct, yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Obrador?
You, Madam Mayor, sorry, just a follow-up question. With the additional funding, that we'll be receiving, was, I guess, was there anything different that will be happening with the program that was identified with that funding? Or was it kind of unexpected dollars, so they're not sure yet what's gonna happen with new funding?
So it's unexpected funding. It's additional funding that was not expected, except for the dollars that are put aside for coordinated access. The community advisory board can review the directives and then decide where it's best spent in the city of Thompson. The Lived Experience Council has helped them to now switch some of the funding. So you'll see that Reaching Home is going to fund less positions of hiring employees and put more money towards rooms or spaces for people to have housing. So it's kind of shifting it away from positions towards capital.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Valentino?
Thank you, Mayor Smook. I'm going to be supporting this. I think that there's not very many times you get an agreement from the federal government that they want to amend it and give you more money, whatever that program or initiative is. And it may be a flow through, but this is a really great thing for the city of Thompson and for our Thompson Reaching Home community entity that actually administers these programs and works on it. And they're being known now on a national level now. So I think that this is great. I think I'll be supporting it, and it's a good thing.
Yes, and I was able to go to the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness this past conference, the federal conference, and Thompson was recognized as one of the leading communities in doing things about ending homelessness. And I do think that Andrea Hadley and Rick Tapestries deserves a lot of credit. She's very diligent about getting everybody's working together and getting all the paperwork that needs to be done in on time, and so that we get the funding. So definitely she was recognized among her peers as being very efficient. So we're very lucky to have her and with this program. So thank you. With that, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Can somebody ask Councillor Sawyer? Because could be noted in the minutes that Councillor saw have a conflict of interest for this past one. Thank you. Next, we'll go to 6.3, a resolution to ratify the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Thompson and the International Association of Firefighters, Local 2200. Resolution 2025-005, moved by Councillor Wong, second by Councillor Chong. Be it resolved that the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Thompson and the International Association of Firefighters, Local 2200, dated January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2022, be hereby ratified by the City of Thompson. Administration.
So the city of Thompson underwent some negotiations with the International Association of Firefighters Local 2200 in December, managed to come back to council with a agreement within council's mandate, and the recommendation would be to ratify that tonight.
Thank you. Councillor Wong is the mover. Do you have any comments?
Thank you.
Any other council comments? Seeing none, it is nice to see this agreement ratified between both parties. Thank you. With that, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Six point four is a resolution to approve the change order for the ISEC roads RNCIS 1027 renewal design and resident services project. Resolution 2025-006, moved by Councillor Wong, second by Councillor McIver. Whereas in March 14th, 2022, Council passed Resolution 2022-047, approving the tabulation of prices for the road renewal design to ACOM for the total contract price based on itemized rate, which was $1,672,166 as per tender file number 10322. And whereas ACOM has submitted two change orders, change order number 9, 30 working days plus 3 rain days for the 2023 project work. Change order number 10, the City of Thompson has requested construction of the following 2 streets to be added to the 2025 road package. Number 1 being Riverside Drive, Thompson Drive to Nickel Road, approximately 75 meters. Number 2, Court Street, Thompson Drive to Nickel Road, approximately 110 meters. And whereas Maple Leaf Construction has been charged liquidated damages for exceeding the number of working days for the 2023 work. These liquidated damages offset the cost of change order number 9. Now, therefore be it resolved, the council approved the additional contract change orders to the scope of work for the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, Roads RN CIS 1027, project number 60681277 for the amount of $122,414.66. Administration. Wow.
Yeah, so good evening. So yeah, there's the 2 change orders here. One is as a result of work already completed for the 2023 project. We went, the construction company went over the number of days that were allocated to them. So again, that cost that AECOM incurred to be here is offset by liquidated damages that were charged to the contractor for going over their agreed days. So that really comes out as a wash at the end of the day. It's a net zero. The second change order is to add the 2 little sections of the streets that were mentioned there, Riverside Drive and Fourth Street, to allow entrances kind of into that newly paved area that we'll be doing with regards to nickel and that. Really the offset cost is about $7,000 and change, given that we are receiving on or already have received the $105 in liquidated damages from the 2023 road package. That's a summary.
Thank you. Councillor Wong is the mover.
Sure, I just want to clarify, not clarify, I just want to make the public understand. So this amount is not towards to the project, it's towards to the design, the engineer, right?
The second part is to the design engineering. Yes, the first part would have applied to the resident services.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from council? Thank you. Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Six point 5 was removed from the agenda this evening. 6.6 is a resolution authorizing the administration to enter into the screening officer agreement. Resolution 2025-008, moved by Councillor Saw, seconded by Councillor McIver. Whereas on July 7th, 2021, Council passed resolution number 2021-106, approving entering into contract with the city of Selkirk to provide screening officer services for the city of Thompson. And whereas the agreement has expired, however, the city of Selkirk is in agreement to enter into a 2-year screening officer agreement with the city of Thompson. Now therefore be it resolved that council approve renewing the contract, the city of Selkirk to provide the screening officer services for city of Thompson until December 2026. Administration.
So this is a request from the department. In the past, the city used to have to go to court for each one of these tickets. People would have to argue in court at a high cost for both the person arguing as well as the city. When the Municipal Bylaw Enforcement Act was passed, it allowed the city to set up a screening officer program. In the past, that was someone local. But as of the last agreement, it was someone in Selkirk, as it was felt that that would be someone out of the community and would have less bias. As I mentioned, the agreement is up and there's a recommendation to re-sign it for an additional 2 years.
Thank you. Councillor Saw, Mr. Mover.
Yeah, if I can, thank you for that explanation. If I can ask city manager to also state what type of savings we have by going through this option.
I believe this one, the appointments are $50 each, whereas when we were going to court, it was $200 and some each, plus any legal fees that go with them. So it's quite a substantial saving.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Councillor Chop.
I'd like to know, the $50 you mentioned about, is it paid by the person or paid by the city?
I believe the city pays park fee and I believe the person lodging pays a park fee. I'd have to find that out specifically for you, so I don't know that.
I know there is a $50 charge to the city. I don't know what else. No one else? Call the question, all those in favor? Carried. And we had done up a mayor's report. I don't see it attached tonight, so we'll make sure that we have it for the next regular council, meeting here. With that, we'll call for adjournment. Councilor Wong, Councilor Oberdorfer, all in favor?